Oh my god. It's Monday. Oh, God. I don't know if I'll be able to program at all today, but we'll give it a try. But, oh my god. No promises. After I finish getting my coffee ready here. But yeah. We're getting a lot closer today. Having finished this silly little rework. Oh. A little. Ooh. That's warm. Oh boy. What a Monday. Yep. now we're on to the level editor stuff mainly. What does the, let's see. There are some issues here. I hate that. But it is mainly is it only tile matrix access? Because in that case, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah. honestly, for the Pathfinder, it only needs to access the main controller. Or the main world. It never needs to access anything else. But we can still update the scripts. Right. Like that. And we replace this with world. Hello, Turkle. Yes, I'm sick as fuck. I mean, I'm not really, but still. I feel like both of my ears are like swollen inside of my skull. What is this? World controller. World. Not good. You too, if you're sick. You too. So we're gonna try to get some stuff done. Hopefully we can. Been for like a month? COVID peeps think, but I've not been tested. Yeah. Sounds rough. Does that fix every single error here? Oh. No. about now? There's one error left. Find targeting area. It's a world. Oh my god. Oh. Okay, pathfinding is fixed. So let's see, world data list, worldcontroller.id, index, world index, dot selection, selected objects list clear. But not only that, we want to clear both. Selected tiles clear. No, we don't. No, we don't want to do that. We want to do it down here. Right, and here we need... editor action. Wait, what? Temp action equals tile. Okay, action list start clear. Okay. But I don't understand what it's doing here. Like, this doesn't work correctly. It does work, but it's not including objects in the action. Editor action. History action type. Selection, object selection 3. Why is that not being used? Tile action. Tile history. I feel like this should just be like this, and then it should have a bool selected. And then it should say select this dot selected equals selected. And then this is object selection. And then we need a tile as well. And that's just gonna be an object, a tile index, and a bool selected. It doesn't need to contain any of this shit. Just needs an index, object selection, selected equals, no. This dot selected equals selected. Oh my god. No, this isn't object selection. This is... I mean, it doesn't need to be called object selection, does it? It's unused, I think. I think it's completely unused. We can just rename this to selection. And then here in cancel selection, all we need is this plus false. Holy shit. I'm so sick, holy fuck. Oh my god. And here we need a world controller. And now here we might have to change some stuff. Editor history index. So here we now need a world data list. Contains editor world data. So let's say editor world data EWD EWD equals world data list WC dot index. As such, and then let's see, history index. Right. So now this just needs to be like giga replaced everywhere here. History. History. This is basically an entire like undo redo system for the level editor, because without it it's fucking unusable. Like imagine drawing in paint and then you like misdraw something and there's no undo. Oh, like drawing with a pen. Yeah, exactly. Who does that shit? Whoa. So this is gonna have to be changed. I honestly don't know if I can change this right now. My brain is too fucking cooked. We have 2 execute actions here. Why do I have one for one input and one for an array of inputs, when one input can just be an array of inputs with one input? Let's just fix it and then we'll figure out if it's needed at all later. This one... What is this? This is delete selected. Oh, okay. Hmm. This is a really bad way of doing it. The way this should work is that tile as a struct should have a public static tile get default. And that should return a new tile with default variables, I think. I am kind of doing that with tile here already though, but well, we are just resetting things here, I guess. But this might be incorrect. And this is wrong now. We're not doing this anymore. This is all using an ancient texture method to write all of these things that we're not using anymore. We need to decide which integer for the tile data as open bits that we can write selection data to. I haven't felt like figuring that out right now. So we'll leave that error. Doesn't this do the thing twice? Execute action. Yeah. See, I'm a little bit confused about that. If I'm removing an entity, I have to write this shit down. I don't know if I can figure this out, so let's not bother today. Let's just try to solve things that we can solve that are more obvious. Let's see. Level. Ooh, cramps. Ooh. Level editor. Delete selection. Why am I running execute action and doing the removal in the same function? Execute seems to run the action, so it is doubled up. Yeah, so that's what's weird. Like here, we are actually removing the object from the list, then we create an action that contains the object. And like an action, right? And then here in execute action, you can see here it's doing something, remove range, add it to history. And then here, if the action type is draw tile, then it does the tile matrix right. It doesn't actually do anything with like objects and stuff, so maybe it's just the tile that is the problem there. Execute action seems to only double up the tile placement. Maybe I just forgot to remove that at some point. Because with that, it kind of feels like all I have to do is just get rid of this. But I feel like this should do it. Like, it should be executed here in execute action. That's what it's called. It's called execute action. So instead of here actually doing the thing, we should be creating an editor action list. or one history entry, and then when that has been created, we just feed it into execute action, and it executes the action. All right. That seems logical to me. Oh. And this here, editor selection, size, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to use this solution, I think. I'm not sure. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a list of integers, and then we're gonna use a 1D or a 3D to 1D indexing solution and say that oh, that might be a problem actually. Maybe we can't do that. Okay, it doesn't matter. Actually, I don't know. Because I need to store, like, which tiles are currently selected, right? And the question is how to handle that. We could handle it just like we're handling writing tiles, so that we say like on a certain position we have 10 tiles selected to the right. Right, and that's how it works. And the reason I'm thinking about it is because, like, if you have a full tile matrix, if I want to track which tiles are currently selected, it becomes annoying and weird. So, like, what I could do is I could make another array that is the size of the world and contains every single, like, one entry for every tile. But it takes up so much data, it's just like, what's the point? Like, 32 times 1000 times 1000 times 100. How much data is that? And that's like my maximum map that I use as like a data reference. So in reality, the maps are going to be much smaller than that. Bits to megabyte. That's 400 megabytes for one integer. So I'm thinking, that's why I'm thinking that we instead just we store an index position. But the issue with that is that then we're storing 4 integers per entry, but then we can store like 1000 entries in 4 integers. So the minimum becomes much larger, but the maximum becomes much smaller. And I think that makes sense, because I was thinking of storing it as integers and being like, yeah, we have over here we have like number 3000. This is tile number 3000. And then it's counted like this from left to right, and then from left to right, and then from left to right, until we reach the 3000 up here. But the issue with that is that the only way to translate the 3000 into a correct position is to have a world size, right? So you need an X. And we have that, but what if we change to the size of the level in the level editor? Then this is no longer 3000. Then I would have to like iterate through every single history item and update all of them, and it's just a mess. So I think the best solution is this positional thing. Let me write that down. So like selection, editor selections should work like right buffer data vec3i position plus int count to the right. Same, well, yeah. 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 I think it'll be a bit of a mess to actually add that, but we'll see. I think I would basically have to... No, as long as it's done on selection creation, it'll be fine. Because right now the selection is basically like... Actually, I don't even know how this works. I think this is like just genuinely bugged. Because here I'm iterating through the selection size, which is like, that's the selection, but I'm iterating through it like it's a square, and I'm just setting all of it to delete it. There's not even a... What? How does this work? It's so weird. I genuinely think this is not functional. Yeah, because it's just a selection from A to B. Which means it has to be rectangular in some form. Hello, Splunky. It'll probably be fine. Been a bit too much lately. I think it's just like stress headache. It's like set itself in my sinuses. Weird, but it'll be fine. I took some ibuprofen. We'll just take a bit of a day off tomorrow, probably. I didn't work Saturday, so I think that's acceptable. Oh yeah. Delete selected themes to only delete a rectangular selection. So what is this? This is execute action. Draw tile. I've been getting a bit run down due to working too much. Yeah, it happens. I've been having like random stress headaches recently, or well, for a while. And they usually last for like 3 days. And yeah. It's not great. Execute action. So if the action is draw tile, check selection equals true. Well, that's bullshit. Yeah, I think I've done like the selection stuff in draw tile, but it shouldn't be. This needs to have a section for every history action that it needs to execute. That's how this should work. But okay, so here we have right buffer section is baked into queue. You know what? Honestly, I feel like I've been doing this wrong. I feel like I'm just handling like the right buffer section in a way that is unnecessarily complicated. Because I'm kind of calling this myself. But I feel like in reality what should be happening is that every single time that I write to the tile matrix, that should just induce a right buffer section call. It should just mark a tile as like, yep, this has been written. And then it should write it, right? Because right now it's like I have to feed in a queue to the right buffer section. But at the same, like, that's fine though. Baked int Q. Yeah. Should we make a set tile? Because right now, I am just writing to the tile matrix. And I think that's just actually wrong. Should this be a private set yet? I think so. And then we need a public void set tile. Vector 3 int tile position tile like that. Is that stupid? And then I feel like here we could convert it to a sorted list. Or just a list. But I don't want... I really just want it to be like a sorted list. But I guess we can just... I guess we'll just have to use a list. And that's it. I think I'm overthinking it. I want to be clever. It should be a list of vector 3. And then it should be tiles to right. New list. Right, and then here we're gonna do set tile. And it's just gonna be tile matrix dot tile position dot x, tile position dot y, tile position dot z equals tile. Right, and it's that simple. But then we have to say tiles to right dot add tile position. But then it needs, I want it to be sorted. That's the thing. So how do we sort this? And should it be sorted right away? I think there's no reason to not sort it like on add. A Scorp Moon. Let's say if I equals, no, if tiles to right dot count equals 0, then we're just gonna say tiles to right dot add tile position. And then I want to do something like if I equals tiles to right dot count -1, then we're just gonna say this, do the same thing, tiles to right dot add equals, no, tile position, no, wait, yeah, tile position. And then you break. And then otherwise, we go to the bathroom. Hey. Okay. So what do we need to do here? Yeah, we need to sort. Man, oh my god. Vector 3 int. Previous position equals tile position. And then here we're just gonna go through this and we're gonna say vector 3 int current position tile position. No, that's not even true. This is vector 3 int dot 0. And so should that one be. These aren't related to the tile position. So here, we're then gonna say just a little weird here. So let's see. I think this should be set to tiles to right 0 and tiles to right 0. Because they do, I think they need to be initialized. And then we need to say we could convert all of them, but I feel like that's super slow and heavy. But either solution is bad, because what I need to do, I need to sort them by Z and Y, and then by X. And then whenever there's a gap in X or Z and Y is different, that means it's like a section. I feel like I should make a struct for this or something. Like a tile section struct. Tile segment. Public vector preint. Start index. Public int count. Okay. So basically, we have a previous position and a current position. And that's where here we're saying tiles to right dot count equals 0. Okay. So let's just pretend that there's only one. There's one entry, and that tile segment entry is at, let's say, 10, 0, 0. Right. And then the entry that we're trying to add is vec3i500. So how do we do this then? Tiles to right count equals 0. And so we start at 0, so we are reading 10. We are reading 10, and we are at I equals tiles to right dot count minus 1. This should be at the end. Alright, so in equals 5, right? So as we are reading this, we want to say if tiles to right dot I dot start index dot y equals tile position dot y, and z equals that, then we want to say if tile position dot x is less than tiles to right dot x dot start index dot x. if tile position.x equals tiles to right I dot start index dot x minus 1. Then we have to do this where we say tile segment equals tiles to right I es dot start index equals tile position and es dot count plus equals 1, and then we say tiles to right I equals ps. Then we break. And the reason for that is because we're trying to write segments, right? So that means that if we have a segment that starts at 10, 0, 0, and we're then trying to write a tile that starts at 9, 0, 0, then we can't just write that tile as a new segment. We have to update the segment that is next to it. But it's even more complicated than that. Because now, what if you have a segment No, it should only need to expand in one direction, I feel like. But it's like... I'm just thinking, I think it has to be like this. Because the first thing that can possibly happen ever is that the first tile is less than the entry. Because the first tile can never be larger than than whatever entry we're reading. Because the first tile is always the first tile. I think. And when we're writing backwards, we should never combine. But then afterwards, here, we have to check else if tile position.x is greater than tiles to right I dot start index dot x. Right? And then we have to say if tile position dot x equals tiles to right I dot start index dot x plus tiles to right I dot count -1. No, let's do plus count. And we're gonna say this, we're gonna say start index doesn't change, but count changes. God damn, fucking, this is so annoying. Uh, current position equals tiles to right I. Previous position equals tiles to right I. Right? Maybe previous position should just be 0. Sure. It's just a question of like, okay, tiles to right, no, tile position is lower than the start index of the current index. But that doesn't tell us anything. Well, it actually it kind of does. I think here else this is where we should make a new tiles to right dot insert at I new new tile segment. Tile position and just a 1 account. Then that's a break. Because if we're here, or if we're on the left side of the next segment, but we are not touching it, that means we write a new segment. And when we write a new segment there, yeah, that's fine. It's fine to do the less than check first. And the greater than check should only ever check if it is touching. And if it's touching, and if we write there, we then need another check. Where we're gonna say if I is tiles to right dot count -1, then we break. Else we need to say if tiles to right I +1 dot pile position or dot start index equals tiles to right I dot start index plus count. We also need if tiles to right I plus 1 dot start index dot y equals tiles to right I dot start index dot y and z then we go in here, then we check if less than or equals to. No, equals to should be fine, as long as the math is correct. So let's say we have we have a start index of one second. Shook the mouse for 1 millisecond and everything fucking exploded. Okay, so let's say we have 10, 0, 0 with a count of 5, right? That means that it's at 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So if we then, I want to see the code at the same time. And we also have one that's at like 5, 0, 0 with a count of 5. That's then 5 to 9, right? 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now let's make it a count of 4, because these two should have been combined already. So 5 to 8. And then we are inserting insert at 9. So then first we're checking 5 to 8. Are we less than 5 to 8? No. And then it checks, is it greater than 5 to 8? Yes. And it is then finding that it is greater, it is equals to 5 plus 4, because that's 9. So it's start index plus count. So it's inserted at 9. That then expands this to 5, 5. So that's then 5 to 9. And then we make another check again, and we check if start index plus count. That's then 5 to 10. And if 10 if the next start index equals the new count, then those have to be combined as well. And then we have to say tiles to tile segment TS. We can just it's TS equals tiles to right I TS dot count plus equals tiles to right I plus 1 dot count. I think it's that simple. Because then this is a count of 5. So if this is 5 to 9 with a count of 5, and then we add 5 on top of that, then this is a count of 10. So then that's 5 to 14. And then tiles to right, remove at I plus 1. And then we break. Oh my god, why is this so complicated? I don't know. There's gotta be a better way to do this, but I don't feel like there is. Because now we also need to check here. So what we'll check here is if tiles to right I dot start index dot y is less than tile position dot y. No. Because this is what we're trying to write. If tile position dot y is less than start index, or tile position dot z is less than tiles to right I dot start index dot z, then we'll just write tiles to right dot insert no the index isn't, insert, it's just a list. New tile segment tile position Count one. I am a little bit worried about this though, because this is all done like one tile at a time. So using the fill tool might be like mega slow here. There is another way to do this, kind of. That honestly might be better. I'm not so sure it is though. It would be nice if you could have just like a massive data type. That's just like a 10,000 billion bit, like literally like a million bit integer. That way. So you can just have like infinite switches on it. And that way you can do like a huge bit switch. But that's what you could do here. You could create a bit switch. And what you could do is you could have like either a list or an array that just contains integers. And then they are all bit switches. And then you could like enter an index, and you could create like an indexer in there that will, if you want to flip a certain bit, you just write like a vector 3. And based on the world size, it would then flip a certain bit. But I'm not so sure about that one either. Because it would be very clunky because you would need so many integers, like how many would you need? 1000 times 1000 times 100 divided by 32. You'd need 3 million integers. Potentially. Hello, Sabotage. How's it going? I want more coffee. Honestly, I feel like both ways to solve this is bad. This is bad. The other way to solve it is bad. I don't really know. Ooh. Don't know what to do on my day off, so I'm on Twitch. I know that feeling. I know that feeling. Sometimes you just gotta chill in your couch and do fuck all. And then sometimes it's like too much work to watch a TV show or something, so then you go on Twitch. I'm not good at doing fuck all. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm not very good at programming today because I have a headache. But yeah. I'm writing a little function here to set tiles. And I'm then trying to make it create what you can do is open this project in VS Code and get a bigger headache. I don't wanna. No, we won't be doing that. But yeah, I'm trying to write a tile to the tile matrix in a way that automates the write to the GPU. So I'm trying to flag tiles that have been written to in a little list called tiles to write, but they're flagged in segments, horizontal segments. So if we write like to x10, and we also write to x11, 12, 13, 14, 15, then that will write 10 plus a count of 6. Something like that. Because I have so many tiles potentially that I don't want to list them individually. So I'm trying to create these segments, which is a pain in the ass. Because we have to sort them by X, Y, Z. And we also have to expand them if they touch. So if tile position Y is less than start index.y, or tile position Z is less than start index.z, then we simply write the segment. And I think that should be a break right there. And then if start index y equals tile position dot y and start index z equals tile position dot z. This isn't actually needed because, well, it kind of is. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just do that. And if the y and the z are equal, then we check. Actually, let me always have tile position first here, just so we keep the logic consistent. So then if tile position x is less than start index.x, if tile position.x equals start index.x minus 1, then we expand the tiles to write position and or we change we expand it backwards, and then we increase the count of the segment that's already there. Then we write it back, and then we break. Else, if we are lower, but we are lower than just 1 behind, then we insert a new segment of a length of 1. And I think this should be correct for writing backwards. And then if the x is greater than start index, then we check if tile position.x equals start index plus tiles to right.count. What we can do here is we can write if tile position.x is less than tiles to right I dot start index.x plus tiles to right I dot count. We could also give this getter public vector fuck it, whatever. But yeah, if it's greater than the start index, no. Let's do another else if here. Else if tile position.x is greater than or equal to tile to right I.start index.x and tile position.x is less than tiles to right.start index tiles to right I.start index.x plus tiles to right I.start count. Then we do nothing, we just break. Because that means we are writing to something, to a segment that already exists or is already flagged to be updated. And then that's all that matters. And then this kind of is unnecessary, right? Because that kind of eliminates any entry that is greater than, but lower than the count. So then we have another else if tile position x equals tiles to right dot start index plus tiles to right dot count. That means we are at the end. And then we increase the count of the current tile segment. And then if that is the end, if that's the final entry in the list, then we just break. Else, we need to check if the next entry equals else, if they are both still on the same Z and Y, then we need to say if the next upcoming entry equals our new start index plus count, that means that they are now touching, and that means that tiles to right I needs to be updated to include the count of the next entry, and then we remove the next entry, and then that way they combine. Is that it? Is that all? I think that might be all. I'm not sure. And then we don't seem to actually need the previous position or current position, so we can get rid of that. Never seen a game being developed before? Yeah, there's a lot of different things to it. So here it's basically just if we've reached here without breaking, if tiles to right count equals 0, else this. Sure. I think this is it. And then what we need is... I'm just thinking, because I need a way to draw preview tiles. So, like, I need a way for the preview to hijack the tile right. And I think we're probably just gonna recreate this tiles to right entry. And I think we're gonna do that by saying something like this here. And we're gonna say public void generate or flag tiles to right. Vector 3 int tile position. Flag tiles to right. Tile position. That way, we can just use this to flag tiles to right. Now, I do think that this should be updated to take a tile segment too. But I don't know if it's needed, but I think that would potentially speed it up certain operations, but... Let's see, where were we? Level editor? There. Because here we're now saying this, right? So this should now be world controller dot set tile, which is now input I dot index input I dot tile action. Hey Jojo. And then this shouldn't call write buffer section at all. This should just write the tile, and then the write buffer section will then be ran just at the end of every update before we render. And that's it. Something like that. We're not going to set textures here at all. This is wrong. We're never going to call write buffer section anywhere now anymore. Found out what was causing my Oblivion remaster to crash, that graphic setting that uses AI slop stuff. Alright. Maybe so, maybe so. But it's also Oblivion, and it has crashed notoriously since the dawn of time, constantly. So, don't be so sure. World data list, add. Editor world data. Contains history, history index. If you go back to watch your old streams of OG Oblivion. Yeah, maybe. I honestly don't even remember how much complaining I was doing. Here we're doing a bunch of selection texture shit, which is not... It's not how anything should be done anymore. Check selection. I don't even really know what this does. Check selection. This is checking the tiles. See if the tile says that it's selected. I don't know if I should do that. I don't feel like that's really how things work here anymore. A tile doesn't need a selected wool. I feel like this whole thing, check selection, is obsolete. Basically, the way it works is that the selection is like a tile write. And so it writes a tile that has selected as true. And I don't think that's what I want to do anymore. Undo and redo need to handle the new selection system. The new selection system isn't done either, but it's gonna use the same solution we just made in the world controller, the set tile thing. It's gonna use that. So I wonder if we can generalize that. Let's see. See here, flag tiles to right, right? Here it says tiles to right. And I feel like it should take a list of tile segments. That way, the tiles to right here can be any list that generates a tile segment. Yeah. And add to tile segment list. Which means this should borderline not be in here. This should be in here. Then you do LOTF. There. That way we have a static function there that just does that, and it just adds this to this list. That's it. It's from Nier. Oh, I might play Nier tonight, actually. I was thinking of doing Replicant. Just to have something to just chill and play through, because my brain is fucking cooked. And it's just a story game you can just play. As opposed to Windrose, where I have to like build and be like careful, and Vagris, where I have to actually think ahead and do things correctly. We'll see. I might just not do anything. We will see. I haven't finished Replicant. I finished Nier, or Nier Automata. But last time I played Replicant, I was like, I hate doing quests and shit in games. It's just not content that I think is fun anymore. Like, doing quests in MMOs makes me want to quit it. And at the time I was like super in like I hate quests mindset. So, but I think I can handle doing some quests now better. So, we'll see. It might be too Japanese for me, but we'll give it a try. Hello, Chair. How's it going? I need to pee. Oh, I want infinity candy and potato chips. Oh. Hey. Holy shit. I don't know if I'm gonna manage another 2 hours today. Oh my god. Went back to sleep for my 5-minute rollover nap, then my phone decided to update at the time it would go off, so I overslept the gym. Fuck. Yeah, that's rough. What was I thinking? I was thinking something. Probably not. Oh yeah. I was thinking about snacks. Yeah. I found a little form, a glass form that I've had for ages. And so I just grated cheese and I just threw it in there. And then I added just like a little bit of chili sauce and some salami, so I cut up some salami slices. And I just threw that in the oven. It's basically a pizza without the bread. I'm gonna try working with that instead of buying candy. I need to stop buying sugar. Holy shit. It is fucking ruining me. That's on 500 subs? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Honestly, I'm kind of fucked. What if we just play some games until our meeting starts? Meeting starts in like 3 hours. We could play some games for like 2.5 hours. I've done some programming today. Honestly, I think we did quite well. This was a fucking pain in the ass. Wherever it was. Yeah, this whole thing. This was a pain in the ass. Add to use add to tile segment list for preview rights and tile rights. Run right to buffer if the list contains anything. That's how it's gonna work. That's how it should work. Downloading a mod pack for Skyrim. Oh, jeez. Sounds good. Sounds good. Oh my god. It is downloaded. It's on sale today, so I bought it. A friend of mine was talking about it as well. But yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. We'll do that. I do want to work more, but holy shit, I'm cooked. Yep. I'll see you in a bit. I'm restarting the stream and we'll play some Replicant for a few hours. Until it is meeting time, and then we'll see what we do tonight, I'm not sure. But yeah, I'll see you later. Thanks for hanging. Have a good day. Bye-bye.